Hey everybody, it's Casual Boops coming at you with another video, and today we're going to be covering the Bourrasque, one of the 5 premium Tier 8 French medium tanks in the game. And I think it might be considered, yeah, it's definitely the best of these bunch. It's probably considered among the best premium tanks in the game, and it's on sale right now. That's part of the reason I'm making this video. If you're watching it when it's released, it's on sale right now. I figured it'd be a good time to show people how to play it, basically, and talk about it and stuff, and so you can decide whether you like it or don't like it, or you want to shoot these things a lot, or if you want to just kill them as fast as you can. Before we do that, I'll post a link to the other replay or the other game that you can see now. And then also, the last time I did this, there was a lot of fun happening with regards to naming the video, and so I feel compelled to talk about, or to show, just run down the list. I made a list of the video name ideas from last time, and they are Yeet and delete, attack and fall back, smite and take flight, yeet and geet, sting it and wing it, bash and dash, hulk and skulk, splode then reload, shank and flank, chuck and duck, shoot and scoot, and my favorite, pap pap and fap. That's pretty good. Anyways, so now that that's over with, we'll get into the stats. Okay, so as I mentioned, this is one of 5, the Alt Proto AMX30 is one of these, the CDC, which is not actually as bad as it used to be. A long time ago, it got maybe like 2 years ago or so, it got a buff, a pretty substantial buff. The CDC is not, it's still not like great, but it used to be just like catastrophically bad, and it's okay. It's okay now because it's got they got some gun buffs. Then there's the Bourrasque and the Lorraine 40T and the Revolucier, the Ravioli. Personally, the Lorraine 40T is always going to hold a special place in my heart, but the Bourrasque is considered by many to be better for a few reasons. But anyways, we'll get into it now. I'm sure you've seen these things on the battlefield. What the whole thing is about is it's got a 360 average damage gun and a 2-round clip with a very short intra-clip. It's like pop pop, or well, pow pow, and then right away that's 720 damage. So it's pretty incredible. The burst potential of this thing is really, I think, unhealthy, right? This has kind of started more power creep, more ways to accelerate the game. Somebody can punish you. You make one mistake, you might take 720 damage from a medium tank. They can scoot away pretty quick, because really this tank is, just like I said last time, it's a mix between a medium and a light tank. I called it a might before. It's a medium, sure, we'll say that too. So because of that, it kind of can play the pocket scout role if it needs to. It's very capable, but because it is a combination of a light tanks, which are hard to play, and a medium tank that has no armor, it really is, I'm sure you've probably seen it if you've played this weekend already. The people that have bought this thing have no idea what they're doing, and they've run in with their faces going la, 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 and then they die, right? Because there's no armor whatsoever. We'll get into the armor later, but like it's very hard to play. When you play it correctly, the carry potential is amazing. You can do some really messed up stuff with this thing, but you have to be patient. You have to know what you're doing. It's not easy to play. So, but that's the whole thing. It's a fast tank with a 2-round clip. The gun is incredibly potato, right? These soft stats actually look pretty good, right? 0.1 for everything is actually okay, right? That would make you think, oh, maybe the gun's really good. But the 0.4 dispersion is the killer, right? That's the thing that, like, all of these, this and this, they all work together, right? It's all kind of they're all kind of the sum of the parts, right? And this part is really dragging the whole thing down. So I'll get into how to fix that with the equipment and so on and so forth. But that's basically it. That's the things you need to know. It's got a decent, it's got a standard shell, standard APCR shell, and a premium APCR shell. The standard shell is 190 penetration, which is god awful bad. And the premium pen is just straight better at 240 with better shell velocity. So again, this is just like the Leopard 1 before, where there's just lazy game design. There's no reason not to shoot just straight premium all the time, because it's just straight up better all the time, always. There's never a time where you would not want to pick this. So that's unfortunate, right? That there's 2 ways that they've chosen to balance this tank, which is the god awful accuracy and the really bad penetration, but both of those things are fixable. So the tank's overpowered. The tank's overpowered. Anyways, but it's got a standard 3-man crew, which is really nice, because a lot of the French medium tanks, the AMX30 and the AMX30B are the 2 that are in collector vehicles, and the Ravioli, those are the weirdos, along with I guess the AP, the new one, the prototype, the alt proto, those tanks have 4-man crews on mediums. But this and the tech tree tanks all have 3-man crews, so this slots in really nicely with your bat chat crew or anything like that if you have one of those. So it's gonna be good. 6 degrees of gun depression is okay. It's not great, but it's like, again, if this thing is fast enough and flexible enough that you can usually find a position to get things done. And it's peppy, right? Almost 30 power to weight is better than a lot of light tanks. Light tanks don't have this sometimes with a 62 top speed, so it really does fit in that role. Yeah, we'll get into the armor now. So the armor is, oh, not visual, live, complete cheese. It is complete cheese. And just to demonstrate, I'm gonna go ahead and just because I've done this before and it's very satisfying. Okay, you got your T49 with HE rounds, right? Not even the really good HE rounds, standard HE rounds. You pen those all day, right? You take 900 from a T49 shooting the cheap HE rounds. The armor is just complete trash. So this thing won't even, you really won't even get many, like, okay, it is possible technically to get some auto bounce things with 40 millimeters of armor, but it's really hard to do. There's like 2 spots. So basically, do not count on bouncing anything out of this thing ever. That's just, there it is. So the armor is that. Okay, so field mods, or equipment and field mods, I suppose. So equipment, I would recommend is you really need to do what you can to make this gun as well behaved as possible. I know there's a lot of people out there going to say, well, I need optics and a turbo and da-da-da, and those things would be great. And we'll get to that. But the gun, you can't view range your enemies to death, right? You can't turbo your enemies to death. It's all about making the gun work. So what I have is this. And of course, I have a decent crew, and we'll leave it like that. And if you run the food like I do, then all of a sudden you get your dispersion down to 0.4, and you get your, let's see, module durability is the one to go with. You know, we'll talk about it now real quick. I'll make it fast. So basically, people, the debate here is, oh, I want 4% traverse because and the downside here is if you get a damaged gun, it's way worse. And if you get a damaged ammo rack or a damaged engine, it's way worse. And people say, well, I have a repair kit. Okay, well, let's say you use your repair kit and then you get tracked. Or let's say you use your repair kit and then you get ammo racked. Now your ammo rack repair, or your reload time is like an eternity. Your game is over. It's just, and 4% is paltry. It's nothing. It's not 4 degrees per second. It's 4%. So something that has a slow traverse, you might think, oh, I want to buff that. Well, you're buffing it by a percentage of the amount that is already small, since it turns slowly. So this is just, module durability increase is the right way to go all the time. And somebody doesn't think that, they're wrong, straight up. Fight me, you know, there it is. We're always going to pick improved sight. I've really grown on the anti-reflective headlight coating, except for like on a couple of things that have no camo whatsoever already. So you want more camo. And then scouting setup for your alternate loadout. So with that in mind, that gets you down to 0.33 and these amazing soft stats. So this is a gun worth playing with, right? So this is why if you run it like this, the gun will actually behave. And then again, if you can run, like if you have the means to run pink or purple, like vents or things like that, or a vertical stabilizer, pink or purple, this tank really can use it, right? Because the gun is so derpy and it relies so much, the gun is so devastating. It's all about the gun. So this is a really good candidate if you're like, I have some purple equipment, what should I put it on? This. Okay, so this is what I would recommend. And then for an alternate loadout, because this thing is a mix of a medium and a light tank, it's a might, right? On games when you're in a scouting map and there are no scouts, you can be the scout, right? So in that case, I'm sticking with the vents, and we'll just put on standard vents. Or I'm sorry, no, it's all, you got to lean into it. That's right. I remember now, thinking about this before I started. I would recommend low noise exhaust to get your camo down as well as it could possibly be, and then a CVS, right? You are the scout, right? So with this in mind, if you got camo paint on the thing and you got camo crew, you got your view range skills and da-da-da-da-da-da-da. If you, like, with this thing pimped, you get 41% moving camo, which is, that's what light tanks have. And 51% stationary camo. That's like, that is a very good light tank. Okay, like this thing can really do it, you know? And then 480 view range is absolutely 100% acceptable. This is, I mean, it's fine, and that'll be magnified by your CVS. So this really can, I know I said this about the Leopard 1 and caused a minor shit fit from some people on the forums, doesn't matter. This thing really can. I think it's beyond debate. These camo values are good, and this can play a light tank substitute substantially well if it's kitted for it, right? So that's what I would do. Without further ado, we'll get into the gameplay. Okay, so I'm going to start us before the countdown here because we can see what equipment and consumables Gabriel is playing with. He's got the snapshot directive, and I think I would probably recommend more, like that's going to help your soft stats, but the soft stats aren't the problem. The problem is the final dispersion. So rather than using that, I think it's a better choice to use that improved aiming directive. I think it's like polished lens or whatever, because that, again, the final accuracy is the real problem. But we saw Gabriel's got the purple vents, he's got a pink V-stab, and he's got a pink improved aiming. So this is pretty much exactly what I recommended. We're on mines, it's a tier 8 and tier 7 game, there's artillery in the game. You're fast enough to get to the top of the hill, and this comet just look at, oh my god, he just gets completely evaporated. And Gabriel got to get up there and sit and wait for him. Like, he beat that Conway to the map, to the hill easily, right? So that just goes to show, like, the thing is really fast. I mean, I wouldn't say the Comet's not a fast tank, but it's not a slow tank either. I wouldn't call the Comet slow, but the Comet got kind of spanked on his way up here. So now you can see we're kind of struggling a little bit with the gun handling, right? Making the 6 degrees of gun depression work. Gabriel did get spotted there. But again, you saw that the reticle doesn't move a lot when you move the gun and the turret and so on and so forth. Excuse me, but it does take a while to aim in, and that's all a function of the fact that the final accuracy is very bad, right? The aim, you might be tempted to use a gun laying drive. Never use a gun laying drive, right? This T-32, I don't know. Once you have the hill like this, positioning wise, you really can't be where that T-32 is because, what will happen to you is what just happened to that guy. He's not in the game anymore. The Pantera there, you can make that work, but it's really risky. And now we're just waiting for our clip to reload so we can drop another bomb on this KV-3. I don't know, these guys are just like paid actors. This is pretty incredible. And so far, we're only like 2 minutes in. We're not even 2 minutes into the game. We've already got 2,400 damage. Gabriel has not yet been shot. Hasn't even been shot yet. But as you may know, once you have the hill on mines, it doesn't mean you win the game, because getting off the hill is the hardest aspect of it. But these guys are just kind of... I mean, look at this. Like, you just got to take out a T-43 out of the game, who is at about 3/4 of hit points, just because 720 clip potential in 2 seconds. You can't even react. That guy didn't even get a chance to turn his turret hardly. So it's a very, very potent tank. And again, we're up here, and he got spotted after he shot last time, but he didn't get spotted. He's not spotted right now. So now he gets to just, oh my god, these shots are just crazy. So he gets to pummel the SU-122-44. Doesn't have a lot of hit points to begin with, and so somebody else shot him, and Gabriel shot him twice, and that's the game, right? For that guy's out. Like, this thing just is so devastating to tier 6s and tier 7s, it's not even fair. And also take note of the fact that, so this Tiger 1, again, just kind of trying to play the game, Gabriel is using using that little rock to tip the tank up so that he can tilt the gun down further, right? So that's one way that you can make a tank have gun depression if it doesn't have gun depression, right? So here we're gonna, I think maybe he's gonna try it again. But if you tilt the tank up, and this is the easiest example I can think of and that I saw most recently, but this happens all over the place if you're looking for it. A lot of people will say, well, I don't have gun depression, I can't play in XYZ position. Well, it's like, that's not necessarily true. If you think about it, if you use tricks like that where you tip the tank up on its side to look back, to look down, you can get some pretty crazy gun depression angles. You just have to work at it a little bit. So Gabriel is deciding to get off of the hill, which I think is the right play, right? We've basically cleaned up the 9-0 line, and everybody's kind of huddled back. And even Gabriel was able to get off of here without even being spotted. So, right, everybody's kind of turtled up. At this point, if you were to push up where that AP AMX-30 is, you'd probably be spotted and shot by the tank destroyers in the back. Everybody who's ever played mines at high tiers knows this is usually how the games kind of devolve into. So Gabriel knows this, and there's not really any damage to be farmed here. You're pretty much just you're gonna get farmed if you try to stay. So Gabriel gets off the hill and he's gonna run down the 1-2 line, and he's not even spotted this entire way. All the tanks in the enemy team have been spotted except for the artillery and an SU-130 PM. But we're going to get all the way over here and try to do this without being spotted. See if we can't. Now we should have shots on that T-29. So the beauty of being on the island is as soon as you're here, the enemy tanks can't be where that T-29 is, because this is what happens. And you see, Gabriel did have to take a second. You got to really let at medium to long range, you really need to let the gun kind of aim in and behave, because this thing, you will get trolled by the gun. And again, this is with food and the purple and pink equipment. Like, this is pretty much as good as the gun is ever going to get. So God forbid if you use the wrong equipment, it's just going to be pain, right? And the times when you use the scouting setup and you don't have any gun handling stuff, like, you are a scout and not meant really for damage dealing. But again, Gabriel's going to sit here. You put another round in. We're going to try to reload the clip before we get any more engagements here. And now here we are. There's an unsuspecting, again, paid actors. These paid actors just sitting there taking clip after clip. And right now Gabriel's at 5 kills, 5,800 damage, and counting. Hasn't been shot yet, by the way. But these guys, they can't. Oh my God! So Gabriel's, it's risky here because they know he's here, but they also can't push him because Gabriel has a bunch of has the Round Panzer, has the IS-2, has the T-25 AT. Oh, okay. Yep, we get a pixel of the Scorpion. Scorpion must not have realized how big the tank physically is, and maybe he'll learn, but he was pretty much, and there's nowhere he could go. There was probably, if he backed up any further, he'd be shot from our friends on the hill. But again, we reload another clip, and again, you'll notice that Gabriel has not shot any standard rounds, doesn't even carry any standard rounds, because the tank doesn't have that much ammunition, and it's like, again, there's not really a reason not to. Why would you not spam the good stuff? Because it's a premium tank, you're going to make premium credits anyways. There's no reason not to. I think that the game design here was really, really bad. It's just not very well designed, right? So we're going to use these bushes and try to stay hidden from the AT-7. AT-7 is definitely looking at us, so we'll take the free damage where we can. There's no reason to rush the AT-7 when there's damage to be farmed right here. These guys are trying in vain to try to do something against our guys on the hill. But again, if you pay attention to how Gabriel has been moving around the map this entire time, he's been up on the hill, and now we're back down around. He's just trying to craft an angle at everybody, just unsuspecting. This team doesn't really know what to do about him, because every time they think they know where he is, he's off somewhere else. And they have been rather remarkably slow to react. Again, it just kind of feels like, what are you guys doing here, And Gabriel accidentally got proxy spotted by the SU-130 PM, who is behind that hillside. So now we're going to see if we can't just wait, be patient, wait for some side of some turret, or maybe we can get there we go, side of the turret. And again, there's no reason to rush these shots. And so Gabriel's taking the time, he's got the side of a turret, he's going to get fully aimed in, because the SU-130 can't push him, right? So whatever, we just sit here and farm these guys. And again, using the bushes as soft cover, right? So you're trying to avoid being lit. Okay, so there's our SU-130. Gabriel's going to use intuition and reload an HE clip. This is the dirtiest part of the entire replay. Took him like 2 seconds to reload an HE clip, and that is the entirety of that tank. He just dealt out 854 damage to that SU-130 PM before he could even turn his gun and get it on target. This is the part that make this tank absolutely just like, not broken, because you could balance it. You could balance this tank, but it's like, it's so powerful. Being able to the intra-clip. I think the intra-clip probably needs to be changed from 2 seconds to like 3 seconds. That would very much alter how the tank plays. I think that would make it a lot more fair, right? Because right now it's just, that guy didn't even have a chance. The T-43 from earlier in the game didn't have a chance. There's just, and this guy, oh, we got trolled. That's like the first bounce we've had all game. And there we go, another one locked down. We're at 9 kills, 9,797 damage. It's crazy stuff. And now we're gonna go pick up the artillery, who, I don't know, this one's a little bit risky. We don't know where he is, and a lot of times they know where you're coming from, so they're gonna get ready to shotgun you. Luckily that did not happen to us. So Gabriel's got 10 kills. Let's see if we can get the 11th. Man, what a silly game. This is insane. We're almost out of ammo, by the way. Gabriel has 3 shells left. 3, right? Now, granted, this is not your average game, but it's not. I will say that the Bourrasque does not carry an overabundance of ammunition, right? I think it could stand to have some more, but the tank's already good enough. It doesn't need any more. Doesn't need any more things to make it even stronger. But again, I guess it's not really a big deal because all you're doing is shooting premium rounds. This guy fluffs his first shot. Gabriel is going to aim for the lower plate, and there we go. 11 kills, most of the team. Pretty insane. All right, so at the end of the game, Gabriel ended up taking home 11 kills, 10,200 damage, and 1,100 spotted. What an incredible performance. Obviously, an ace tanker and the spotter badge. You got the Pools medal, the tank sniper, high caliber, top gun. Just raining medals, really. This is incredible. And that ended up getting Gabriel 2,658 base XP, which is... I'm pretty sure that is the record, right? This right now, if you go to wattreplays.eu, is the current high score for damage and XP for the Bat Chat. So, I mean, just nothing else to say about it. Just a remarkable game. Once I probably will never do something like that myself. Pretty amazing. And to add to that, everything else here, Gabriel ended up even taking home a little profit. You know, we got 175,000 credits, and then he ended up costing himself, let's say 141, and then consumables were 30,000. So I'm not quite sure, the math there doesn't quite add up as to how he gets 91 off of this. But the one thing I do want to bring up is that there's no repair costs because Gabriel never got shot. He didn't ever get damaged in this entire game. So anyways, this is not your average game. Not every game you will have in the Bourrasque will be like this. In fact, sometimes you'll just explode like that comet. But it is a very good tank, and I think it's a tank that everybody probably should have just because it's so good, right? So power creep sells. And yeah, thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you in the next one.